Hello and welcome to the show. So, for those of you who follow our regular videos, you will remember that a few weeks or probably even months ago now, I can't even remember, Daniel set me the challenge of driving the Holden HSV around the Nurburgring in under 9 minutes, which I actually succeeded in doing. It is very tricky. I'm not a fan of the Nurburgring particularly, and the car is, well, scary. However, to get my own back on him, I would decide to set him a challenge. Now that would be using the Porsche 962. This is a very, very fast R1 car. Now the challenge was to get around the Nurburgring faster than the real-life world record, which is 6 minutes 11, set in a Porsche 956, very similar sort of car, in the 80s or something. I can't even remember. You know more about this than I do, Daniel.
I do, yeah. I'm a big fan of Nurburgring, big fan of Porsches. But what I want to know is one question. Why did you set me this sort of challenge? I mean, I set you in a road car. You set me in a race car from the 80s.
Because
a race car from the 80s around Nurburgring equals death. You should know that.
Well, yeah, it is.
Died in a road car.
Going to be insanely hard. The Nurburgring is not an easy track, but you like the Nurburgring, so I thought you'd enjoy it.
I do like the Nurburgring. Yes, I think enjoying is probably going to be the words lower down the list. I think bottom clenching is going to be the one higher up. Or
well, let's make for good videos. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a first gear video without some sort of scary failures. So here we see, this is the first corner on your first run, and it's not stopping. There it is.
Yeah, I did just about stop.
Yeah, it just about got stopped. I mean, this car is phenomenally fast. As we see,
it is insanely quick.
I think that's from a standing start, that bit there as well, that you kind of went off on.
Was.
As we see through here again, we're going very, very fast, and you're on the grass, and then we're going to go some sideways action there.
I saved it. It's fine.
This is. You should remember, this is a 2 million credit car. It's not a cheap thing. And again, where are we going through here? Whoa!
That was a bit interesting actually, because I just about managed to miss the wall, but there was a slight issue with that. I sort of went over the curb, and it sort of just not jackknifed. It sort of just snapped back on me. This car is just insane. It's got over 600 horsepower, and it is just insanely fast. Coming down here, I mean, this was on a flying lap, and I'm hitting about 240, and you have to get your braking point right. Brake too early, and you stop way before the corner, but brake too late, and you just come nice and cozy with the wall you're about to hit at 200 miles an hour. So it's insanely quick, and it's not the most stable car in the world, but I have no words to describe how just ridiculously fast it.
Well, that's the thing with R1 cars. There's so much less sort of forgiveness, I guess. When I drove in the Holden, it never went that fast. It never stopped that well. So you always had a little bit more leeway. If you braked a few feet too early, it didn't really matter, because you could sort of just let off the brake and let it drift a little bit. If you braked a little bit too late, you might put a wheel on the grass, but because it's not going that fast in the first place, you have a little bit more leeway. In an R1 car, if you brake too early, you know it's a huge noticeable difference, because it's got such powerful brakes. If you brake too late, of course, it goes so fast that you just don't stop in time, which makes this an incredibly hard challenge. This is some footage from your fastest lap you did.
This is from the fastest lap, and you can see, I mean, this is one of the fastest sections of the track, and it is just, the camera can't even keep up. It is insanely quick. If you haven't even driven this car, I suggest you do, because anything you've driven is nothing compared to this. This will just wipe it away.
It's probably not the fastest R1 car. I think the Mazda and maybe the Sauer Mercedes
might be slightly quicker.
Are technically, we're talking about unmodified cars here. The Audis and the Peugeots, they are higher PIs, but I'm not sure they are faster in a straight line. I think they have a lot more downforce, which is kind of going all over there.
Spit of flames,
airborne flame and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Audis and Peugeots, they have higher PIs, but they don't have high top speeds, I don't think. They handle better. They're a lot less twitchy and scary.
They're a lot less slidey.
Now, I guess we should probably sort of talk about the actual lap time you're trying to beat. 6 minute 11 around Nurburgring is
insane.
Ridiculous. We have to sort of consider as well that this was done in a time where safety wasn't really a primary concern when it came to building racing cars. These are... I think the guy who drove it is Stefan Beloff, I think, is the guy's name.
Stefan Beloff, yeah, 1983.
Yeah, he was killed in an accident in Spa in a Porsche, I think. I'm not 100% sure, so I may have got that wrong. But yeah, he died in an accident in one of these cars, and quite a lot of other racing drivers at the time suffered similar sort of fates because these cars were so fast, and there just wasn't the safety that you see in modern cars. So there's huge respect to the guys who raced these. I mean, the record itself is impressive enough as it is, but there were, during the race, what times did they were doing 6 minutes?
I think he did a 6:20. His fastest lap, Stefan Beloff's fastest lap in the qualifying was 6 minutes 11. In the race, he did a 6 minutes 25, which is only 14 seconds slower. That'll be with race fuel.
And I'm pretty sure his teammate was doing similar, or a lot of the guys were doing that sort of similar times, which is ridiculous. And there we go. That is you across the line. Now, are you going to tell the ladies and gentlemen what time you managed to do?
I managed to do a 6 minutes 46 seconds. So quite a long way off, but it was still insanely quick. I mean, that was a standard car. That wasn't tuned or modified in any way. And I mean, that's under 7 minutes. That's ridiculous. But
it's not a bad time. I mean, yeah, people are going to look at that and say, oh, that's quite a long way off. Which, yeah, it is true. I mean, we aren't the greatest drivers in the world here. We're not going to be setting any world records.
Not by far.
I didn't do this challenge because I'm useless at Nurburgring. You're by far better than me at this track. Yeah, it's still a respectable time, and it's still really, really tricky to drive that around there. So I give you credit for making it round without putting it in the wall.
Yes, yeah, I nearly did. There was a couple of times it came pretty damn close, but I mean, like I said, if you haven't managed to, or you haven't driven the Porsche, go and drive it around Nurburgring or Le Mans or somewhere, and it's nothing like anything else you can drive at all. It's brilliant.
That is it for this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you have challenges as ever, leave them in the comments and we'll have a look through, and we may well try some of them. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.